You all know this is a horror exclusive channel. Yeah, I do certain thrillers, the ones that are like horror adjacent. I even do family friendly horror movies. Where am I going with this? Well, there's lots of reasons people enjoy horror movies. Sometimes it's directly tied to the subgenre. You like scary monsters? Well, you probably really enjoy creature features. You like serial killers? Slashers got you covered, also thrillers. But the most memorable ones in more recent time are probably the art house type horror movies or elevated horror. For example, and that's just a few of them. So why do people like them? Could be a couple different reasons. I like to think that some of the more popular reasons are they are beautifully shot, lots of thought have gone into the details and the meaning of near every single scene, they tell an interesting story, and they even got a bit of a wow factor at just the right moment. Like this one. I mean, if you haven't already seen Hereditary by now, what are you doing with your life? Which brings me along to Keeper, the latest Neon attempt at making an artsy monster horror movie. Which, yeah, misses a few marks that are essential to making a good art house horror movie. Let's keep it cordial, with lots of clips so I can jump into cursing this movie out for being wasted potential and spoiling its secrets. So the movie follows Liz and Malcolm going to a cabin in the woods for some alone time. New couple? This is a big trip. Though they are intentionally vague on the big trip aspect. Like, yeah, it's a big deal to go to this special place, but like, why? It kind of reminds me of this movie.
What are you doing?
I'm taking your ass.
Fresh was great. Anyways, back to Keeper. And actually, before we get to know Liz and Malcolm, we get a montage of these four women, happy, sad, concerned, and then bloodied and screaming.
You have my attention.
So then we jump to Liz and Malcolm arriving at the cabin, and there is a boxed cake on the table. Malcolm assumes the caretaker left it for them. Our girl eyeballs the cake in a very concerning way, like she either hates the cake or thinks there's something more to the cake. I don't know. Later, while they are eating, Malcolm's cousin Darren comes in with his hot model girlfriend and crashes the party. A bit like the great outdoors.
Anybody home?
Darren is a bit of a dick and flaunts that his date can't speak English. He asks Malcolm to join him in the other room, and his date says the cake tastes like shit with some dark teeth. I guess she does know English. Then Darren comes back and they leave. Malcolm and Liz are about to bone, but he stops mid-lay in order to give Liz a slice of cake.
That's a little gay.
She says she hates chocolate cake, but he still cuts only a piece for her and has her eat it. He asks, "How is it?" And she says, "It tastes like shit with dark colored teeth." Wait, was the model thing like a vision? Did she imagine it? Why would she keep eating a cake that tastes like shit? What is happening? I don't know. It's also pretty weird that he deliberately only cuts her a slice of cake and doesn't get one for him. He doesn't even try a bite. Whatever. Liz wakes up in the middle of the night and makes mouth love to the cake. Not kidding, the sound effects are as over the top as you can get. Just gulping fistfuls of cake. And it was at this moment the movie started to lose me because it was starting to be like too weird. Randomly we get these scenes of the four girls from the intro. Sometimes it's hard to tell if they are coming in as like forced visions or dreams or just shock value for the audience. We jump cut to the woods and Darren's model chick is speaking a lot of English and is pissed that her Uber hasn't shown up in the middle of the woods. Not even close to a road or parking lot of any kind. And then she gets taken by a big monster from behind a tree.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna make my summary breakdown even shorter, cause holy fuck, I am struggling. We get more and more scenes of Liz bugging out, random scenes that we really have no idea what they are about at the time we see them, so I don't really know how to describe them. Again, I'm just talking about my breakdown as I'm like thinking and processing this movie as it's going. And this goes on for like about an hour. Malcolm leaves to go visit a patient's family because they are pissed about their comatose loved one. While he ditches Liz, she freaks out more and calls her friend for help, but the friend says things along the lines of like, Malcolm is a married guy and Liz is being a mistress, and that just pisses her off, so she hangs up on her. While Malcolm is gone, Darren comes to visit and he is a dick like normal. And while Liz is in the bathroom just avoiding him for a bit, we see Darren's body with a slit on his neck that's so big it's like an inch away from decapitation, but Liz doesn't see any of it. Not really sure how this works exactly because this isn't an establishing shot, so who is this for? Us? Speaking of, a lot of shit happens around Liz. Like things behind her back, like doors open and close, hands appear. She even gets a few visitors, but they just flash in and out, so it's hard to tell if she is crazy or she's just surrounded by ghosts that just love to fuck with people. So Liz comes out of the bathroom and sees no Darren and doesn't really look for him. She's in the kitchen and the garbage disposal spontaneously turns on. She then turns it off and sticks her hand down there.
Fucking idiot.
And she pulls out Darren's gold watch that's in perfect condition. Fucking how? So Malcolm eventually comes back and Liz is ready to fuck out of there, but he convinces her to stay for just a half hour, and that gives him a window to be back in her good graces. They split a bottle of wine and Liz asks about the coma patient and Malcolm is all, "What coma patient?"
You fucked up, bitch.
Then he quickly corrects himself and tries to cover it up, but Liz ain't buying it, so she bolts to the bathroom for privacy. And he honors it for a bit, admitting that he fucked up and would like to talk about it. She says no, then he just lets himself into the bathroom because the door's lock never worked in the first place.
Uh-oh, spaghetti-o.
Liz also notices a photo on the floor of Malcolm and a woman and some kids. She thinks it's his family that he's been hiding from her, but it's a photo from like the 70s and he looks exactly the same. She asks, who the fuck is he? And he says, I am a doctor, I love you, a few random generic things, and some more that you don't know about. And before she has the chance to say, the fuck does that mean? He leads her into the living room and breaks down what's about to happen. So she is about to perform the greatest act of love there is, giving up her life so that he can live a bit longer, against her will. Gaslighting is some pretty powerful stuff. So the cake was supposed to knock her out, but she ate the whole thing, and I guess that made her see the monsters around the house. I really don't fucking know. Like, if a bite knocks you out, eating a whole cake should have made her OD. Whatever. Malcolm goes off on a little story. 200 years ago, him and his cousin found a witch on his father's land. They wounded her and put her in a barn with some pigs. She gives birth to the monster children, and Malcolm blows the witch's face away. A face that looks exactly like Liz's. He then tells a fairy tale of a fisherman catching a fish, and the fish says, I'll grant you 3 wishes if you throw me back into the water. And you would think if the fish could grant wishes, why doesn't he just wish himself back into the water? And maybe it's because granting wishes is what it does and doesn't know how to do anything else. So that's the movie's bullshit way of explaining that the witch's monster children give Malcolm and his cousin eternal life as long as they feed them women every few decades. A few times in the movie they mention their neighbors are so bad that they make the witch children out to be like perfect gentlemen. Fucking tacked on reason for a potential sequel or prequel, that's for sure. Liz books it, but the house is sealed up by the witch children's magic. She's able to get out to a window, but gets spooked by the monsters and falls into a creek, then wakes up in the basement. We get the monster reveals, and honestly, pretty good. This is honestly the highlight of the film. I like these little critters, and hopefully I'll be able to get those scenes soon and use them in future vids. Candlemouth, Smoky Head, Multi-Face, all pretty solid. Though, I wish Multi-Face was practical instead of CGI. Oh, and a few duplicates in the shadows. They surround her, she asks what are they, and they say, your children. In the women who came before. We jump to Malcolm, who has an ultra dramatic drink and sunglasses and music session for like 5 seconds until the screaming ends and he goes to sleep. The next morning, Malcolm is hanging upside down in the woods and is super old. Not sure why he didn't just turn to fucking dust. He should be at least 200 years old, but I guess that's on me for paying attention. Liz comes and he asks, how? Liz with her black and blue witch eyes says that they asked her to stay. and he begs a bit while she force feeds him some cake, and it looks pretty bad because his face is half CGI. I don't fucking get the logic here. Is it really that hard making old man makeup, or just casting an old guy for like one scene? It would be so much better. So after the cake, she lowers his head into a jar of a, like, honey preservative or something, and he quickly drowns, and the movie ends.
What? Oh, come on!
Hey, I got a question. What was the point here for the main character? Here's a shorter summary of the movie. A chick gets invited to her boyfriend's cabin. He gives her some druggy cape and gets offered up to monster witch children so that the boyfriend can live for forever. But she's the reincarnated mother of the witch children, maybe, and they spare her and let the boyfriend die. Cool story, bro. There is no character arc for Liz. There is no mystery solving, no struggle for survival. She just kind of endures slowly going crazy until she's offered up as a sacrifice and only makes it out alive because she is a reincarnated version of their mother. And it's all by chance she even ended up there. Do you know how we can improve this movie?
Go on.
Give us bits and pieces of Liz being compelled to be here, or that she has witch powers, or that she's been here before, or
Something.
this is a story of shit just happening to a chick and she just makes it out alive by so much luck that leprechauns would be scratching their heads. Also, a few questions. How did Malcolm and his cousin figure out that these things grant wishes? After they killed their mom, and there's no fucking way they didn't know that they did that, but after they killed their mom, did they just randomly tell them, hey, if you bring us some hotties every 20 years, we'll make you live forever? Also, the cousin gave up his hot date. Why was he killed by the children? Were they just waiting for the two guys to just keep bringing them women until one day they pick their reincarnated mother? How could you possibly plan for that? And why? The only merit I can give this movie is that it has some pretty shots and the monsters. But it's like the writers and directors started with that, but then gave the story and purpose to not even the B team, but like the C or D team and just went with it. Neon has some banger horror movies in recent memory, but they have also had some serious duds. I wish I could look forward to the next Neon horror movie with confidence, but honestly, the next one I go see, I have to walk in fairly skeptical, which is a shame because I want to see it with confidence that it'll be a banger. But that would be me gaslighting myself into thinking Neon is reliable at making good horror movies and bringing it all the way back to my intro. This is an art house horror movie, but people who like art house horror movies are gonna have a hard time liking a story that has nothing that personal going on with the character in relation to what's happening in the story. And I wouldn't be surprised that the movie isn't riddled with Easter eggs like an Edgar Wright movie. Keeper is a perfect example of missing the mark for art house horror. Thanks for watching, stay spooky.